Hello, I'm Justin Gallagher, Associate Publisher of the American Journal of Managed Care.
And I'm Kate Douglas, Editorial Assistant.
Welcome to This Week in Managed Care from the Managed Markets News Network. The 75th Scientific Sessions of the American Diabetes Association in Boston last week featured results from two important cardiovascular outcomes trials for diabetes drugs, which are now required by the FDA. The TICOS trial, an international study that spanned 38 countries, found that sitagliptin neither caused adverse cardiovascular effects nor produced any benefits. The results showed that sitagliptin did not increase the risk of cardiovascular events in a diverse group of patients with type 2 diabetes. Also featured was the ELIXA trial, the first cardiovascular outcomes trial for a drug in the GLP-1 agonist class. The trial found no risk or benefits for patients with type 2 diabetes who took lixisenatide, which has not been approved by the FDA. Researchers were not alarmed that this trial did not show cardiovascular benefits, as they met the FDA's bar for safety based on 2008 regulations. Lixisenatide showed modest results for weight control and no increase in the risk for hypoglycemia or pancreatic injury. Both trials represent the FDA's effort to keep a closer watch on the cardiovascular safety of newer therapies. For our full coverage of the ADA scientific sessions, visit us at www.ajmc.com.
The FDA made progress this week on the clinical front with advisory committee recommendations for two PCSK9 inhibitors, new therapies that reduce LDL or bad cholesterol. The FDA's Endocrinologic and Metabolic Drugs Advisory Committee voted 13-3 to recommend alirocumab, made by Santa Fe and Regeneron. The committee warned, however, that the drugs was best suited for patients with familial hypercholesterolemia or who have both high cholesterol and high cardiovascular risk. The advisory committee also approved Amgen's PCSK9 inhibitor, evolocumab. The committee heard testimony on why the drug is appropriate for the patients who cannot tolerate statins, as this was discussed at the length during the hearing on the alirocumab. If FDA approves both therapies, the advisory committee called for addressing safety concerns in the product's labeling.
The 21st Century Cures Bill, recently approved by the House Energy and Commerce Committee, seeks to extend the voucher program for companies developing treatments for pediatric rare disease. Congress launched a voucher program in 2011 to encourage drug makers to invent rare diseases where there is potential for negative outcomes and limited returns. The program gives a company a faster route to approval for drugs that treat rare diseases in children. If extended, the voucher program potentially benefits up to 15 million children with rare diseases.
The Government Accountability Office released its latest report on 2011 Medicaid claims data in 4 states, Arizona, Florida, Michigan, and New Jersey, that account for 13% of all payments. The report found that Medicaid paid $9.6 million in claims filed regarding services for 200 people who had died, and it detailed 50 providers now excluded from federal health care programs for reasons that included patient abuse or neglect, fraud, and tax evasion. The GAO called for CMS to better screen for deceased beneficiaries and to use better data to screen Medicaid providers.
And finally, we encourage you to read the new issue of the American Journal of Accountable Care, which appears this month. AJAC, which is dedicated to covering the transition from fee-for-service to value-based payment models, features coverage from our recent meeting of the ACO and Emerging Healthcare Coalition in San Diego. Coalition co-chair and president and CEO for Renown Health, Anthony Slonim, told us why the meeting is so important.
I've found that the AJMC Coalition has been a great opportunity for me to network professionally and learn from other people who are doing the same kinds of work that I am. I encourage all of you to join us in October for our fall meeting. We have a live event. You'll meet people who are in the same business. You'll meet people who aren't in the same business. Nonetheless, they share our interests and can help us to achieve new levels of productivity because we have an open dialogue with the patient and the population we're serving as the focal point of what we do.
The next live meeting of the ACO Coalition will be this October in Palm Harbor, Florida. For more information or to register, visit www.ajmc.com. On behalf of the Managed Markets News Network, I'm Justin Gallagher.
And I'm Kate Douglas.
Thank you for joining us.